up, guys? Welcome to a special edition of Charger Overtime. I'm Ford.
And I'm Jacob.
Max.
And we have an exciting show today talking about, we got the college football sports, and we got a special guest here, Payton Earnest.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Nice.
All right, so first question, Payton. What do you have planned for the future?
I plan to go to college somewhere in Florida to major in business and then eventually get into investing in real estate.
Oh, all right. Yeah, all right. So nothing involved with TikTok.
No, I mean, TikTok is cool. It's kind of a fun side thing to have, but I don't really want to be dependent on TikTok as like a main source of income or anything like that because things like that don't last forever.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah,
and just to let you guys know who are watching on video, we're all playing it safe here. We're all wearing masks this episode. So just letting you guys know.
All right, so kind of switching roles a little bit here and going to football. What has Heritage Hall's football team done really well this season, and what can they improve on especially?
I mean, I feel like every year we always do well on preparation. We practice really long. We're always prepared, and it puts us in the best position to win games. But we can really work on consistency, especially on offense. We have lots of turnovers, lots of penalties, and I feel like no one can really like stop us unless it's ourselves. So if we fix that up, we could be expecting a gold ball, definitely.
Right. So your expectations are a gold ball?
Yeah, high expectations.
Of course.
I really think, this football team this year really has shot themselves in the foot, the games that they really need it. I mean, I think we're definitely have been the best team in every game we've played. It's just that we have those moments. I mean, offense has been kind of slow at the start and everything, and we basically need to just start off the game firing.
Right.
Yeah, we have way too much talent to not be scoring.
Oh, yeah.
That much.
I totally agree.
Sure.
Well, our defense, we can obviously say otherwise. We've been doing really well on defense, and
Defense has been really
we can
solid
always
this
trust
year.
them. All right, so interesting question here. If you had to pick any uniform combo worn by the Halls football team, what uniform combo would you choose?
I personally like the white helmets with blue jersey, blue pants, and blue socks. But I also like the cocaine white, all white. You can't go wrong with that.
Kind of agree.
Can never go wrong with all white.
Yeah.
See, you missed this last episode, but the episode before we talked about college football uniforms, talked about some good ones and everything, and we really never got into a talk about like all white uniforms, which is kind of weird. But I definitely think Heritage Hall's definitely got some really good uniforms. Tonight we're definitely busting out some spicy ones, I could say. What do you think about those tonight? Or I guess before I let you answer that, I have to tell the group the uniform combo for tonight is blue helmet, gold jersey, white pants, and blue socks.
Oh, so it's a
All
little
right.
new here. A little new in
it's
here. Sounds interesting.
Interesting combo, especially with the combination of Douglas's uniforms. They're also interesting.
Orange.
Yeah.
Orange and black, the two worst colors you can possibly imagine. All right, next topic.
There
Go ahead, Jacob.
All right, Peyton, once football is over, you going to do any other sports?
I may do track, or I may just, depending on if I get my college figured out, just focus on that, focus on my grades, get started with things like that. But we'll see what happens.
What do you run in track, 100 meter?
100.
Yeah,
100.
yeah, sprints. Do you ever wish you could be part of the jungle?
Yes, I do. It's a good atmosphere, but I mean, it's kind of different with Corona this year, so.
Yeah,
That's fair, yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, definitely.
Those are my first thoughts going into this year. Actually, I first should state that the jungle is our student section at Heritage Hall. But
Yeah.
I went into this year and I was just like kind of upset that I wasn't going to be able to be a part of the student section or anything. And then once everything went down or anything, I was kind of just like, maybe this is the year to miss out on the jungle.
Yeah, it's the same with me too. I mean, like I miss out a lot of student section with doing chart vision and stuff, and I'm down the sideline. But ultimately, this year it's a lot different with the with COVID going on. So the student section isn't the same as it has been past years. So I feel like I'm not missing as much as maybe other years.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think it's near as exciting. It's not even in the same spot. If any of you guys have ever been to the games this year or the one home game we've had, another one tonight, the student section's been moved over to the outsides on the two bleachers on the outside, while it's usually on like the far left of the stands. All right, now we're gonna move on from the questions from Payton. Thanks for answering those, but don't worry, he's gonna join us in our next topic. Who's your guys' future upset of the week?
All right, I'll go first. I got the Eagles over the Ravens. You know, they've been given a lot of looks with Jalen Hurts in their practice. They've been using Jalen Hurts basically as an example to guard against Lamar, you know, a running quarterback. And I think they're going to prepare really well. Lamar hasn't really caught rhythm yet in the passing game. But he might heat up, you know, this week with the Eagles defense, considering what they did when they let Chase Claypool last week basically run the offense over them. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, but the Eagles have upset a lot of different teams, mainly the 49ers, but the 49ers also lost to the Dolphins. So we'll see. I'm just being hopeful for the Eagles. They're the division leaders right now, but there's not much competition in that division.
That's true.
Are they still after the Cowboys won it last week?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Yeah. I think the Eagles are definitely like very questionable team. You never know, especially with all the injuries they have. Carson Wentz is so off and on. I wouldn't be surprised if they upset the Ravens. At the same time, I can also see it being a killing.
Yeah, blowout.
I mean, it's just, you know, you say how Lamar hasn't really caught fire yet, but Lamar Jackson has too much talent not to, like, he's so much talent where he could easily come up any week and
he can turn it on
go
anytime.
crazy any time. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's this week with the Eagles' struggling defense. And not to mention, the Eagles' offensive line is very questionable. And the Ravens have a really good front seven. So we'll see how that works out also. So Jacob, I have to say I have to disagree with you here, but I could see it though. I could see it, but I would take the Ravens.
Yeah,
I could see it.
We'll see if Jalen Hurts gets the start over Carson Wentz, he might be able to hopefully outrun them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
You know, what's funny is that the Ravens have who you would want as your like scout team quarterback whenever you're facing the Ravens on their team, which I would say Robert Griffin. I've heard like him running on the scout team, like and everything, being the backup. They say it's the closest thing you can get to Lamar, which I sort of agree with.
Yeah.
He definitely had some resemblances in college.
Yeah, with OU, for sure.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that game. I'll go ahead and say mine. I have, going to college football now, Mississippi State over A&M. This is, a very questionable. I always thought Texas A&M was a little bit overrated. And then last week they obviously showed out and beat Florida, and they jumped the rankings by like 10. And now I think they're kind of a little hyped up. And Mississippi State's kind of really, kind of pissed off, and KJ Costello's been not playing as well as we all thought he was going to after watching week 1. So I can see him turning it up, and possibly we'd get an interesting upset over here.
I could see that. A&M's been weird. Like they got just pummeled by Alabama a couple weeks ago. So that tells me either Florida is not as good as we thought, or Alabama is really, really good this year. So we'll see how that works out. I think this will be a big test for A&M. Because I think if they win here, I think we can really consider them as a guy to really look for as like someone who could really cause some chaos in the SEC. So
do we think Kellen Mond's the truth?
I wouldn't say the truth, but he's a good college quarterback.
I think he's an average college football quarterback. I feel like I'm always negative on this show, and I'm not trying to be, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely like, you can consider him one of the, up there, obviously, just because he's on a higher team. I would just like to see him on other teams.
Was he a transfer?
No, he's been.
He's starting.
Has he been starting since freshman year?
Pretty sure. I think this is like his third year starting.
See, that's the only thing that bugs me at Kellen Mond. I used to think he was the truth. I was just like, after freshman year, I was like, this was his freshman season. Like, this guy's going to be insane. And then he really hasn't turned it up since then, and has been, really hasn't improved.
I think De'Aaron King is the real truth here for Miami.
Yeah.
He's a total beast.
That's true. That's true. He's been awesome. Speaking of De'Aaron King, transferred from Houston, who is my upset of the week. I think Houston will beat BYU this week. Now, granted, BYU has stud quarterback Zach Wilson, who has looked absolutely amazing through these last 3-4 weeks. But I like Houston. They've only played one game, so we don't have a whole lot of looks on them. But they did look good in that one game. They beat North Texas pretty handily. And it's in Houston, and I think this is kind of a dangerous game for BYU. BYU's, they're riding high. They got good ranking. They haven't lost yet. Looking really good. and I think this is going to be a trap game per se for BYU. I like Houston. BYU is a 5.5-point favorite, and I like Houston to win.
Is Dana Holgorsen still Houston coach?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I really thought Houston was going to fall off after Darren King left. And
See, I was expecting that too, but
I mean, because last year, the moment he went down and got injured or whatever and sat out the rest of the season, they didn't really pick it up ever. After that OU game, everybody. I was actually in the hype for Houston. I was like, Derek King's he's the guy. Like he's going to be the guy who upsets OU this year. So we can move on to Payton's. What's your upset of the week?
Hey, my upset of the week is in the NFL. I have the Texans over the Titans. The Texans recently got their first win after they fired their coach, Bill O'Brien. Titans are undefeated. This is kind of a must-win game for the Texans for their playoff hopes. So I personally like the Texans. Titans are a 3-point favorite. Yeah.
See, if they hadn't had fired their coach, I would say they got a chance. But new coach coming in, they just recently fired their coach. I'm kind of questionable with the Texans, although I have Deshaun Watson as my fantasy quarterback. So we are hoping for the best, and I'm definitely going to be cheering them on.
And, I mean, the Titans look really, really good on Tuesday night. But to be fair, though, I could see this, though, for one big reason.
Short week.
Yes, it's a very short week. They played on Tuesday, which means they only have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 5 days compared to a whole 7, you know. Mm-hmm. And so that's a lot different week compared to having Sunday to Sunday or Monday to Sunday. It's Tuesday to Sunday. So I think that could play a factor. But the Titans looked dominant against the Bills. And Derrick Henry is another level. He's hard to stop. I don't think anyone can stop him. So
Not even Josh Norman.
Oh yeah,
Josh Norman can't.
Is it just me though, or has Derrick Henry just improved drastically?
Oh yeah,
past
definitely.
couple years.
I agree.
He was facing. I think it was into his 3rd year until that big 99-yard run that blew up. Right up until that point, he was the Titans. I bet were just looking to replace him. I mean, they drafted an Alabama running back very high. They had high hopes, and he didn't really deliver until his 3rd or 4th year.
It's kind of true. He just he was there. I mean, he wasn't a bad running back in any means, but he definitely is not the all-pro running back, first ballot Pro Bowl that we've seen since when they had their AFC title run last year and up till now.
I think it's just because he was probably splitting time with Deion Lewis at the time, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean,
And
that probably hurt
DeMarco
him.
Murray, at the tail end of DeMarco
Yeah,
Murray's
Murray
career,
was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's true. He didn't do much though.
Deion Lewis was a really solid running back though, so we'll come a little slack on that.
Yeah. And before we get off, I really just want to bring this up. We didn't really have this written down, but I want to see what your opinions are and your expectations for OU the rest of the year, football-wise. I mean, this is right at the point where you can make assumptions. Before we were everybody was questioning, this team just isn't as good as we were hoping. And then, obviously Texas isn't a great win or anything, but that's still a win. And it was definitely a tough game just because it was a huge rivalry game.
Feels good to beat a rival.
And
Yes,
because we were thinking if we lose to Texas, there's a chance we start off 1-5.
Yeah.
You're right.
Playing TCU next week and everything. And so now, we're 2-2, and maybe that boosts a little confidence in our team. Is there any chance you guys think we make it to the Big 12 championship?
There is, I think. I think the biggest what we have to do is we have to hope for K-State and Iowa State to lose a couple of games they shouldn't lose. They both have not played OSU yet, so that'll be interesting. We haven't yet either, though.
We want them to. Of course, we need to win out.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to win out.
First.
Best case scenario for us, I'd say the best case scenario is we win out and we go to some NY6 bowl and get a good win. Because personally, as an OU fan, I don't really want to go to the playoff this year. We're already out.
Yeah.
But I would not want to go this year personally.
I don't want to go 0-5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
we
I
might
think-
not even make it to the playoffs.
Oh, no, we're not.
No,
We're
we're
not.
not.
Although this is OU's not going to be this team, but this is the year that a 2-loss team will make it to the playoff. And I'm
Yes.
calling it now.
Yeah,
This is just me. No matter what, I feel like there's going to be a 2-loss team. This is 2007 all over again.
Right.
Top
teams losing all over the place.
Top teams losing all over the place just because of lack of practice throughout the offseason and everything.
You're right.
We can all blame it on COVID, but yeah, I definitely think there will be a 2-loss team this year. And I look forward to seeing the playoff because it will be very exciting seeing this.
And I will say this, Spencer Rattler's gotten a lot of hate from people because all they see from Rattler is the final drives
And the
against
turnovers.
K-State and Iowa State, and they're seeing he threw a pick.
Yeah.
No, he has been great. I don't care what anyone says. He's in the top 10 in almost every statistical category, and he has thrown absolutely amazing balls. And he
On the run especially.
yes, on the run, he really has looked really good. In my opinion, I think he's the only reason we didn't lose to Texas, and he's the only reason we didn't lose by 30 to Iowa State. He's looked really good. I don't care what anyone says. He's looked really good. He is the future.
His top 2 running backs are out, so.
Exactly. Stevenson.
In 3, if you include Trey Sermon, who transferred to Ohio.
Yeah, and Brooks opted out.
And Brooks opted out.
We're
so
so
and last week we didn't have the true
McGowan.
freshman McGowan, yeah.
And McGowan, also another guy who I think could be the next, like, Samaje Perine / Joe Mixon at OU. Like, a really
Runs
good
hard.
running back. Yeah. He's looked really good.
All right, I just wanted to bring that up, see what your guys' opinion was on it. And thank you for joining us tonight, even though you're probably not watching this at nighttime. Go check out our Instagram. Follow that, please. Thanks for joining us, Payton. It was a joy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us, guys. See ya.
All right, see ya.